Hey guys, I'm back. A lot to talk about right in the Atlantic. The Atlantic is starting to get busy at this time of year, and this is the time of year where tropical storms really start to crank up in the Atlantic. And on the satellite loop over here, you can see Fiona in the Atlantic. Not really that impressive, not much. Yeah, this morning we saw a burst of thunderstorms in the center, but most of the now is being in the northeast quadrant where the center is, as you can see here. This is because of wind shear really just going out in this direction. Increased wind shear just really blew up the storm. Look at this. And out of this direction just really tear the storm apart. And yeah, hurricanes do not like wind shear. Hurricanes like low wind shear, like for example, westerlies that come out of the west, or easterly trade winds that come out from the east, but weak. And yeah, it's gonna be weakening. Also, they've been, you can see this, you can see this line over here. That is dry air being sucked into its core. You can see here, you can see here is the really being sucked in the core. And the center of the storm is right here. As of now, it'll be weakening as as of the 2 p.m. advisory, as you can see here. And there's no really amount of there's like a matter of time before this becomes a tropical depression. It could be a depression as early as tomorrow morning, and then it really weakens out, becomes a post-tropical cyclone, but a depression, and goes out to sea. Could be well off to the east, and it'll be south of Bermuda, but the remnants could bring rain to this area, right here. But not just Fiona. Fiona's not really a worry about it. What is really a big concern, we do got Tropical Storm K in Eastern Pacific. It's the 11th named storm of the season, but it'll be weakening as it turns more to the north. But this is why. Look at all this. Look at all this. All this is stable there, and look, it's gonna really starting to get sucked into its core, but thunderstorms really are boiling over here. And why it's going to be weakening? This is why. Look at all this dry air. It's not really dry air. This is actually stable air. You can see these circus clouds, and this is indicating a lot of dry air and stable air up here. And when you see this is really not favorable for storms. The center of the storm is right here where I'm circling over here, and really much. You can see all of the dry air is really kind of starting to get sucked into its core. You see it right like this loop over here, and yeah, it really getting. You can see the outflow really starting to get sucked right into the core, and this is really not favorable for tropical systems. And yeah, it does really show that. And yeah, it does show that. It shows a weakening of a trend, and then it makes a turn to the west, because there's the ridge of high pressure. Really, it's been bonkers all year round in the North Pacific. But the Atlantic is really the big story that I wanted to talk about. This is why. But But the Atlantic was really the big story that I wanted to talk about. Well, one is Invest 99L, which is, you can see it's right out here in the middle of nowhere. I do wanted to show the satellite loop, and really it's just showing a bunch of convection over here, as you can see here. Really, but it's this huge mess over here. The NHC gives it a 60% chance of development in the next 5 days, a 10% chance in the next 48 hours because of how disorganized it is. And yeah, it is in favorable conditions. Let me show you the SST anomalies. You can see here 29C, pretty favorable, almost 30C. Look at this big band down here. Really not helping the system a lot, but it is a lot of convection down here as it turns more to the west northwest. As it turns west northwest at a few miles at a steady at a steady speed, it'll be like heading more to the west and then northwest. But as you can see here, but as you can see here, here's the track. Where is it taking to? This is today, but in the next 48 hours, it's still disorganized and weak. But 72 hours from now, that's where we really start to get this much better organized. And then 96... Yeah, it may develop from about 96 hours from now. And look what look what the track mean takes it to. Look what this fat line, this black line that you see here. Look what it takes it to. This is concerning because we do see the Azores high right in the middle of nowhere. They tend to direct storms much farther west. And when storms are weak in the MDR and they develop over here, what that tends to do is that they will develop much farther to the west. For example, by the time it gets over here, and the black line takes it up like north of Hispaniola, and it takes it towards the Bahamas, and this is 216 hours from now. It shows like a strong tropical storm, maybe a minimal hurricane by the time we get out here. Now this is concerning because we're anywhere from East Florida up to the East Coast. That's where it'll be the big concern. And this is really like, and this is really starting to, I know, because this is really concerning because we gotta watch these systems. And then there's another one. It gives it a 70% chance of development in the next 5 days. And yeah, look where it takes it. It really just takes it right in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, let me show you the 5-day outlook. Fiona's here. Yeah, look at this. Look at the red that's showing up over here. Here's the system. It will develop out here. 70. It'll be going much farther to the north than Invest 9090. This could become Invest 90L soon. If it does develop, it could become, what's the next name? This one could be named first. This one could be named first. But it's actually 9090 that we have to be focused on, because when this system goes much farther to the west, it'll be tracking more to the west than Invest 90L. And this is really concerning because when you see storms up, when you see the cone of uncertainty where it develops out here, then you really gotta keep an eye on these systems, because, and really, it could develop next week. It could develop next week, where the storm is out here east of the Leeward Islands, or very close to it, and that's really had caught my attention. This has really caught my attention, and yeah, this is really the time of year where we gotta watch these systems. And yeah, it shows here Fiona, 99L, and 90L, all in the Atlantic. But this one's the main focus. And yeah, we'll be watching the system. I'll be back tomorrow for another update. Ciao.